Life moves without interruption. Time ticks, sands fall, waves crash, with or without you. But then, there was eventually you. You learned to cry, to laugh, to babble, to walk, to talk, to read, to count, to love, to hate, to fight, to dream, to... Oh, you're dead now. You always knew that death would come, but not so soon, not today, and definitely not in this manner. What was your life like? Were there any regrets? Was there anything you still wanted to do? Anyone you wanted to thank? Anyone you wanted to apologize to? Have you raised the shareholders' value enough? Time doesn't stop. Just as life comes, life goes. Sometimes slowly, sometimes without warning. It is with the absurdity of life that it sometimes moves too fast. Too fast, in fact, that we oftentimes forget to stop and ask why we want to live and how we want to live. About Death is a short webtoon series by Sini and Hyeono that addresses this moment. It presents stories of people getting their final chance of self-reflection at death's door. Each chapter follows a different person, of different ages and lives, meeting God who begins to prod at the way they live. The nature of death. Death is quite a motivator. If I tell you that you'll be unalived shortly, your priorities suddenly rearrange depending on the time you have left. If it's in an hour, you might just call your loved ones to tell them you love them, and also tell the neighbor upstairs how much of a prick he is. If it's in a year, you might choose to donate all your riches or to write a How to Die Well in a Year course. But if it's in 100 years, you might just start playing League in between. And I'm sorry you have to go through that. Death is also equal to all. It comes for everyone, and when it does, it takes just the same. You can't be more dead than dead, just as you can't be more nothing than nothing. While religion and other beliefs often reshape death by a promise of an afterlife, hell, or whatsoever, there still exists, for the most part, an underlying fear of death. But it is also a concept that feels so distant at times. A concept that we can only imagine happening to others but not to us. For most, death will only enter the mind by the 60s. Younger than that, and we drink alcohol and play Minecraft till 5 a.m. But death, while closer to others, can come just as randomly as to any other person, with no rhyme nor reason. Ironically, reflecting about the nature of death ultimately triggers a reflection on life, and at the end of it all, allows us to think, what is it that truly matters? The nature of life. About Death is short, simple, and direct. It presents stories of people from all walks of life. A husband, a son, a father, a murderer, an old man, and a friend, among others. Each wakes at death's door, and each is asked to look back. And while the specific situations and reflections differ from each other, there remain similarities. In every happy life is a relationship that far outlived them, and in every life of regret is a relationship that ended too soon. It is quite interesting that for a majority of the stories, relationships with other people take center stage, that relationships are somehow depicted to be far more valuable
than shareholder value.
That's why this is ultimately a work of fiction. In their reflections, what mattered most was rarely success, rarely status nor productivity. No character at the end of their lives ever thought or mentioned their work. In fact, the only mention of work was about rest or about wishing they had pursued their passion. Meaning, it seems, is easier defined within relationships to either self or others. This requires much reflection, which is quite difficult in such a world that seems to measure success and meaning in numbers, often tied to wealth or output. About death raises the concern of realizing and understanding life only when it has stopped, either by death or a near-death experience. But it does not need to be that way. We can choose to live life now, live deliberately, love fully, work, rest, and pursue what matters. Reflect on what's important, raise shareholders' value to the extent that you can earn a living without hating yourself. Really, live life living in every sense of that repetitive phrase. And as ironic as it sounds, think about death. Because when you do, you inevitably think about life.